She looked up at him with tear-filled eyes and whispered 3 words that sent shivers down his spine. Those 3 words revealed a truth that would unravel a web of mystery and danger, and Officer Jackson knew he had to act quickly. But before we start, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. This was a situation that Officer Jackson had never been in. He was only on the force for about 3 years by now, and he had just been on a regular patrol this morning. His college officer, Maroy, was waiting in the car for him and had seen everything unfold. She had already made her way over to Jackson and the little girl and told them that she would quickly scout the area to see if she could determine where this girl had come from. Maybe her parents were also still around here somewhere and the girl was just lost. All the while, Officer Jackson stayed with the girl. It was clear to him that she trusted him, and he was not about to betray that trust in any way. He walked her to the police car and sat down in the back with her. Officer Jackson had taken a picture of the young girl and sent that to all the officers. They were starting to go door to door with it and asking everybody who opened up for them if they knew her or if they had even ever seen her before. But in the end, their efforts were not completely for nothing. One older woman that was willing to open the door for them did recognize the girl. But she did make a quick comment when she saw the girl's photo. That girl there, she is an orphan. No mother, no father. When Officer Maroy pressed her to tell them how she knew this, or if she could give them more information, the older woman quickly seemed to realize what she had just said, and told the officers that she did not know anything else. And the longer Maroy tried to talk to her, the more stressed she seemed to become, until the woman slammed the door in her face. Officer Maroy knew that if she wanted to get more information out of this woman, she would either have to arrest her or get a search warrant to go through the house. For now, their search had come to an end, and even though they had some information, they still had no idea where this girl came from. Because even if the old woman was right and she was in fact an orphan, then where had she been all this time? She had to have been living somewhere. If she lived on the street, she would have been noticed a while ago. Who had taken care of her? Defeated, Officer Maroy reported back to Jackson, who was still waiting with the young girl in the back seat of the police car. The next step was to take her to the police station and work it out from there. On the ride back to the police station, the 2 officers discussed what would be their best course of action. Of course, they would need to put out a citywide message that they had found this girl and that her caretaker needed to report to the station immediately. But what if that did not work? Would they just have to hand her over to foster care? After their car ride back, Officer Jackson and Maroy quickly set into motion a citywide alert, releasing the orphan girl's picture across various platforms. As the image circulated throughout the city, calls began flooding the police station, each one a potential lead that could unravel the mystery of the girl's identity. Yet many seemed to lead only into deeper confusion. In a turn that piqued both their interest and skepticism, an anonymous tip redirected Officer Jackson and Maroy towards a wealthy neighborhood, its manicured lawns and sprawling estates, a vivid contrast to the dimly lit streets where they had found the girl. They couldn't help but wonder what connection, if any, this polished world could have to the orphan's mysterious story. In this opulent setting, the residents they encountered were polite, yet there was an unmistakable air of skepticism in their responses. Could such a girl truly be unknown in a community where everyone seemed to know everything about their neighbors? Back at the station, Jackson and Maroy pored over maps and records, searching for any possible link between the girl and the wealthy neighborhood. This lack of connection only deepened the mystery surrounding her. While driving through the wealthy neighborhood once more, a sudden sharp intake of breath from the girl caught the officer's attention. As they passed a particularly grand mansion, her eyes widened and her small hands clenched into fists. This unexpected reaction stirred a keen interest in Jackson and Maroy. Was there a hidden connection between the girl and this opulent residence? Deciding to follow this lead, they approached the mansion and were met by its owner, a figure known for his prominence in the community. He greeted them with a polished veneer of concern, but when shown the girl's picture, he quickly denied any knowledge of her. As the conversation with the mansion owner continued, Jackson and Maroy couldn't shake off a nagging suspicion. Using the pretext of a routine inquiry, the officers asked to take a look around the mansion. As they walked through its opulent halls, they kept a watchful eye on the girl, who remained silent yet visibly tense. Every glance she cast around the mansion seemed to carry a story yet to be told. Leaving the mansion with more questions than answers, Jackson and Moroi felt a deepening sense of uncertainty. The owner's polished denial and the girl's silent telling reactions created a puzzle that refused to fit together neatly. Back at their desks, Jackson and Moroi began to peel back the layers of the mansion owner's life, combing through financial records and past interactions. Among the mansion owner's financial records were transactions that raised eyebrows, large sums of money moving in unusual patterns, and connections to shadowy figures in the city's social elite. These dealings painted a picture of someone who played at the edges of legality, adept at staying just within the lines. Despite these findings, nothing they uncovered could directly link the mansion owner to the girl. With concrete evidence elusive, Jackson and Moroi decided on a new approach. They set up discreet surveillance on the mansion and its owner, hoping that a watchful eye might reveal something the paper trail had not. With a mixture of determination and apprehension, Jackson and Moroi approached the mansion once more, their strides resolute. Inside the mansion, the atmosphere crackled with an electric charge as the officers pointed, probing questions at the owner. They watched, keen-eyed, as his polished facade began to show cracks, his responses shifting from smooth assurances to defensive retorts. Amidst the heated exchange, the girl, who had been a silent shadow by the officer's side, suddenly showed signs of overwhelming distress. In a moment as fragile as it was unexpected, the girl's voice, long silent, pierced the tense air. Her words, "There are others," were soft yet carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken horrors. This revelation, simple yet chilling, hung in the room, a specter that instantly shifted the narrative of the investigation. With a mixture of shock and determination, they detained the mansion owner, his earlier composure now replaced by a look of disbelief. As they escorted him from his opulent surroundings, the officers knew they were stepping into a potentially deep and troubling part of the investigation. Recognizing the gravity of the girl's statement, a comprehensive search of the property was quickly organized. Jackson and Moroi called in additional officers, briefing them with an urgency that underscored the potential seriousness of what they might uncover. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth and status, was now the focus of grim and intense scrutiny. In a secluded wing of the mansion, their methodical search led them to an unassuming door, skillfully hidden within the intricate designs of the wall. The discovery of this hidden area sent a ripple of apprehension through the team. As the hidden door swung open, a grim scene unfolded before the officers' eyes. Each confined space revealed another child, each appearing just as bewildered and neglected as the first girl they had found. The discovery of these children, hidden away in such deplorable conditions, sent waves of shock and anger through the team. It became chillingly clear that she, along with the other children, had been used as mere sources of income, a despicable exploitation hidden beneath a veneer of wealth and respectability. With each document and each testimony from the rescued children, the horrifying reality of the situation became more apparent. The mansion owner had been running a sinister operation, exploiting vulnerable children for financial gain. Following the shocking discoveries within the mansion, the owner was formally arrested. The charges laid against him were severe and numerous, encompassing child exploitation, neglect, and a host of related offenses. As news of the case spread, the local community reacted with a mix of shock, anger, and profound sympathy. With the children now safe, the next crucial step was finding them new homes. Child welfare agencies, bolstered by community support, worked tirelessly to identify foster and adoptive families. These efforts were guided by a deep commitment to ensuring that each child would be placed in a loving, nurturing environment, a stark contrast to the shadows they had been rescued from.